Hello everybody, this is the channel Love Being Served, and for the first time I'm appearing in front of the camera. I try to avoid that because it's not about me, it's about the food. Nevertheless, I would like to take you today on a short walk outside into the garden because today it's about figs and how to make a beautiful fig jam tart without sugar, vegan of course, and gluten-free. While I will do this in 2 batches, I might do the second video tomorrow. Yeah, I would first like to introduce you to the figs. I have here already a nice big bowl of figs that we got from our neighbors as a present, and you will see that they are a bit different from other figs. There are bright ones and darker ones, and while we have outside the darker ones, we have now a beautiful example of another color. So the plan is to first take you outside with me and we go and pick the darker variety, and then we're gonna make something like a jam. It's not really a jam, it's like the filling for this tart, but you can use that as a jam as well. I hope that you will love this video and you will love baking with me, and see you outside. There we are. This is the beautiful fig tree. It's a really big one here. There is also a smaller one next to it, so you see how different they can be. Let's get a bit closer. I'm gonna pick up my box and let's check the fruits. So you see here we have already unripe and ripe fruits on the same branch, which is really interesting, I find. So we have quite a lot to pick here, and well, let's do that. See you later. So I have picked now a few of them. There are many more, but look how beautiful they are, and very soft. And yeah, the bees love it because they have a nice sugar liquid. This is why you really don't need any other sweetener. So I have finished with cutting these the dark ones. It's quite a lot. And while I'm still busy with cutting the brighter ones, I would already like to start with preparing now this filling. But let's first try, because they are really different. Yeah, this is like honey, yeah? It's like super sweet. And the brighter one, oops, it tastes softer in a way, even though it has a bit of a thicker peel and a bit more, how to say, not so soft as the other ones. Okay, let's boil now this load here. I usually add only very little water. In my recipe, I recommend to take like 5 handfuls of figs. Of course, the hand size differs, but I would say like a medium hand size, so 5 times this, cut into small pieces as I did it here, and then you add like 1/3 of a cup of water only. That's totally enough because they will also give quite some water while boiling. So I will also add some cardamom. I always love that. It's not mandatory, of course. It's optional. And I also love to add quite some cinnamon, especially when you make this cake now. For just a jam, For the bread, you can also omit that. So, I've now boiled the figs, the first batch, the dark ones. And as you can see, there I left the pieces here in this one. And here, I'm gonna turn around. Here I show you a version where I blended the mixture. And it's like a nice kind of jam, a jam-like texture. I really like it. I tasted it. It's very sweet. You really don't need any added sweetener at all. So this brighter variety is now almost done. You see how beautiful the color is. So golden, wonderful. I added also here some cardamom and cinnamon, of course, and a bit of lemon juice. Unfortunately, our lemons are not giving for the moment, but that's fine. Now we are going to prepare the crust. And for this, I already have here about 100 grams of almonds that I ground roughly. You can also ground them a bit more finely. But in the end, we are going now to blend everything together, and I think it will make a nice and fine crust dough. So, and I added also 1.5 ripe bananas. In my recipe, I actually have 2 bananas. But I would like to test today if replacing half of banana with a few dates would make a difference, because some people, they are not so happy with this very strong flavor of banana in this cake. We're using the banana as a sweetener, of course, and let's see if that helps. I will then know the difference. But if you want a very simple and also very cheap version, just take 2 full bananas and no dates. So 100 grams of ground nuts of any kind and 2 bananas. And I also added 6 tablespoons full of olive oil. You can of course use any other neutral oil, but as we are living in Portugal, olive oil is of course the most regional choice, and it's also delicious. Now we're going to blend this whole load. Now we are ready to bring these 2 components together, the flour. I'm using oat flour to make this tart, which is gluten-free. And yeah, we have this mixture now also placed in or transferred into this bowl. And I added a bit of cinnamon, and ideally also if you have some biological lemon zest. And yeah, this we are going to mix now together. I used about 2.5 cups of oat flour. So I had to bind my hair together because I'm losing quite some hair. I guess I'm already in the perimenopause. Anyway, we have the dough ready here. It's nice and soft now, not too hard and not too soft. This is actually perfect. This is how it should feel and look like. And I cut it in 2 pieces. I would say 2/3 and 1/3, more or less. You will get a feeling the more often you make this tart, and also depending on how large your tart tin is. Mine is, I think, 28 centimeters in diameter. It's quite a large one. And this recipe is actually designed for this size. If you want to make a smaller tart, you have to either make some cookies with the rest of the dough because you will have too much dough, or you just take 1/4 less of the ingredients for the dough. Okay, what we are going to do now is I already oiled the tart tin, and I will now also flour it a little bit. Oat flour, I recommend really to use oat flour, since I'm it's gonna make some noise, so this is how I do it, no? So you oil and you flour this tart tin. Let's see, I'm gonna do it first, and then I will say a few things about oat flour. This is quite a coarse oat flour, but it's super. So it is gluten-free, and it's also a bit sweet already naturally. So this is why I love to bake with oat flour, to make a bit of promotion. So we're going to roll now this dough into more or less the shape of our tart tin, and then we replace it to the tin. This is now the tart crust in the form, and now we are going to add the filling. I have here this date jam. I mixed now blended jam and not blended jam together. And what I'm going to do now is, because I want to test if without starch this is also going to be fine. So I'm going to divide this in half, in two, and I'm going to add half of this date jam to the dough crust, and then I have here a mixture of arrowroot starch and a little bit of water, and I'm gonna boil that a little bit and then add that too. So we have kind of a testing situation here. Let's see how this is going to go. So I rolled also now out the rest of the dough and cut it into stripes, and we're going to place these stripes now nicely here on this tart crust. It's not dough crust, sorry. This beautiful tart had now been baking in the oven that had been preheated to 160 degrees Celsius fan function for about 30 to 35 minutes. Just check with your oven the tart is ready when on the surface of the stripes and the tart crust you see a nicely brownish color appear. And I also recommend to sprinkle the tart before you place it into the oven, again with a little bit of cinnamon. It just looks nice, doesn't it? Oops, half is already gone. It must have been a good cake. So as you see, yeah, that's the filling, and actually the filling without the starch component worked also very well, but it's just a bit lower, and then this has like more of a texture, of a kind of smoothness. So I would still stick to a few tablespoons of starch. Yeah, it's just a recommendation. Both work very well anyway. So I hope you liked this video, and please give a thumb up if you did. And I wish you happy vegan baking. See you next time.